Hey guys, welcome back to Hollow Knight.
Welcome back
The
to
hollowest
me.
Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Ah! I'm gonna die. I died.
Yeah.
I've already died before I even got to the boss, if there even is a
It looked like
boss.
they were getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
Is there something about me that's like, I can talk to Beanie about anything? I can ask him personal questions and he won't take it personally.
I mean, do you ever say, like, that's kind of uncomfortable? Do you ever, like, go...
No, well, I just go with it because it's more
Well,
fun.
there you go, that's why.
Yeah.
If people test the waters, they ask you simple
But like,
things,
it
and they
depends
go,
on
they
the
think-
person and like how close a relationship I have with them.
Yeah.
And it also depends on how long I've known them and stuff like that. Like how long I've known them, like what kind of relationship we've had. Like if we've known each other for a long time, then it's like, well, you're not just gonna be pretty hard. You're gonna have to work pretty hard to get rid of me. If I haven't known him for a long time, then it's gonna be different. It's gonna be like, I don't really know if I want to talk about this stuff. And it's also just like the nature of the place that I work at as well. It's just sort of like, it's a bit crass, but it's entertaining enough to get us through the day.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really proud of how we've gone today, to be honest. I'm proud that I kind of got into this game and actually managed to get some stuff accomplished. Again, I was expecting literally nothing to get done. And like for me to forget all the controls and just not be able to do anything. Also, the fact that like I haven't like actually sat down and recorded and like talked properly in like over a year. Though I suppose like there are things on my channel which sort of I don't know, recording things. It's mainly just it's a lot more casual on my channel than it is on this, which is ironic because more work goes into it on that channel. But I mean, not more work, but
More casual.
it's weird, right? Because it's like the whole point of the moments videos is it's just literally just chill
Yeah.
and not try like. There's lots of moments like 90% of the video is probably of like what I record. It's probably just dead silence, like literally nothing at all.
Yeah.
And then just like the good parts, just the good parts.
Yeah.
So
It's like, what game was it? The one you played with Aaron that was... so
Deep
difficult.
Rock Galactic.
No.
Castle Crashers.
Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Where you'd done like multiple sessions and it ended up being one video.
Yeah. The whole thing was like hours and hours long, but just cut out all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't like the whole point of that series, or at least my goal of it, is that I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be forced. I want it to be like a chill. These are just some moments vibes, you know. Like obviously I record it. I'm intending to do something with it, make a video out of it or whatever. But I'm not trying to force it. And I mean, I should also say I'm not really trying to force it on here either. But more like I am trying to think of things to say more often, I guess, than just sitting here and waiting until something happens to comment on. You know what I mean? I'm more engaged, more of an active member of this thriving community that I am so proud of. You get that?
Yeah. What's that from?
That's from YouTube Rewind, like 2017,
Oh my God.
2018, whatever it was. The one that was hated the most in the world. It's like
2019.
it's literally the least, like the most disliked video on YouTube.
2019.
Yeah. I think they decided not to do it this year. Instead, Mr. Beast did it, and I didn't watch it because I never liked it to begin with. So.
I saw like a bunch of the things. I just don't care anymore about all of that.
Yeah, same.
It's not that I cared too much to begin with. I think I only cared when like Jack's films was in it.
Yeah.
And now I'm just
I
like,
wonder if he's in the new one actually.
I think he is, but I just don't.
Yeah, no. It's like I'm beyond the YouTube.
I think I'm a bit jaded with YouTube or something. Where I'm just like,
A lot of people are.
I'm just like, YouTube caters towards a certain kind of YouTuber, and all of these people that pop up are like, I've never heard of them, never watched any of their content, and they're apparently really important, and I just don't care.
That's why I just stick to my little circle, my little content circle of just things that I watch, and I watch like. I very rarely step out. Like I'll find like one YouTuber and like go through his whole thing and like go, all right, you know, he's someone that I'd like to subscribe to, and then that's kind of it. Yeah, I care not for all this, whatever the big noise of YouTube is. Like, oh, there's some drama going on between these big YouTubers. I'm just like,
I hadn't even watched H3 podcast for a while until
I stopped watching it.
I started watching it when I would watch every now and then this thing happened with this woman Trisha. And
Oh yeah, there's like the
like
frenemies.
she walked out in the middle of frenemies.
Right.
But I only saw the clip. I didn't like watch the whole thing. But like there was some sort of thing that had been going on that they hadn't talked about properly, and so it reached.
Isn't that the point of the show though? Is like that they are always at each other's throats or whatever, or like they have completely opposing.
I think so. Yeah, they like respectfully disagree or something like that. But it was a bit more personal.
Right.
Because like Trisha's dating Healer's brother.
Oh really?
And so yeah, it's a little bit. And so the problem is that like Trisha and Healer's brother. What's his name? Noah. I think his name's Noah, something like that.
Sure.
And like they would talk about like what's going on in the family and stuff. And Trisha's a little bit of a firecracker sometimes.
Yeah.
And so she'll be like, "This is what's going on," and sort of like say things like that. Say like this is what's going on in the family, or you don't care enough about something, and it's just like you came in
unnecessarily volatile. Yeah.
And so and they talked about it. They did like a not personality test, but like a neuroticism.
Right.
Like they did a couple of different tests like that with some I don't know if they're psychologists or something, but they got a couple of different experts in to like they answered some questionnaires, and this was like separate from Trisha walking out in the middle of frenemies.
Right.
This happened like the next week. They sort of found out which one of them is the biggest nutcase, really.
Which one is it?
Trisha. But like Ethan's not like the happy peacekeeper either. He's a little bit.
He can be.
He can be rough around the edges in his own way.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't really. He just sort of like feeds the beast instead of actually.
I gotta say, I know nothing about Trisha, and I don't watch the history podcast.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to get into it actually, because like.
I watched like the first. I think they did like one or two with Trisha on the Actually podcast, and they're like the first two, and then I don't know. She's somehow become a bigger thing because like they really enjoyed having her on, and she really enjoyed being a part of it and want to be. I guess they were just talking and got the idea to do something a bit more. One thing I kind of want to watch is what do they call it? The Steamy Awards or something?
Streamy Awards?
No, like they made up their own award show for like the
Dude, I don't
YouTube content award.
Well, the thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was the fact that I don't watch H3 anymore, and I haven't for a long time, because I don't relate to them anymore. And this isn't me trying to be mean or anything.
They've sort of got a bit big,
well, exactly. So I don't know if you've ever watched Drew Gooden's videos.
No.
He does a really good video on it called "Losing Your Relatability."
Yeah.
And it's about how when you become so rich and famous, you sort of, the very thing that made you that big, and that like, he used Jerry Seinfeld as an example, and basically, Jerry Seinfeld got really popular and really famous because he was so relatable. He was sort of like the everyman, and he talked about like minor, like little conveniences and inconveniences of life, and just like, and that's what made him really popular, as being relatable to the everyman, right? But because he got so popular, he became really rich and really famous, and now even if he like his material was still exactly the same, which I have no idea if it is, to be honest. Just the sheer fact that he is now rich and famous makes it so he can't ever reach that same amount of relatability again. Like obviously people still love him and whatever, but that initial charm is forever gone now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit that way about H3, and this is something that is really difficult to put into words without sounding like the biggest asshole on earth.
Yep.
But I'm going to try and put it as blatant as possible. The reason that I originally really got into H3 is because I related to them, right? I looked at them and I saw myself in them.
Yeah.
And I go, wow, you know, like these people, like they're a small channel, but they're just kind of fueled by their love and their, you know, desire to create and despite all odds, despite the fact that like it's not, you know, it's just like a fun little thing that they were doing and just sharing their life. And I was like, this is so cool, and their interests and whatever. You know, obviously they you know, they made like reaction videos or whatever, which is, you know, it's one way or another. But I really related to them, and like they're even talking about there were times when like really early on, which I wasn't there for, but I really related to how they talked about how poor they were at one point, and how like, you know, they'd go to a grocery store and they wouldn't be able to buy like an avocado or something like that.
No, the red capsicum story, the red bell pepper.
Yeah, a bell pepper. And I really resonated with that. I'm like, dude, like I get it, you know. But now they are rich and popular, and that kind of appeal of me being able to relate to them is kind of gone. And I feel really bad about it because obviously, like, I think that they deserve their success, and I'm gonna die probably. I can't relate to them anymore. I see that they have this huge house, you know. They've got Gila owns a fashion company. They got this extremely successful podcast. They got like 3 podcasts now. I died, you know. And I just think to myself, I can't relate anymore. You've far surpassed me, and as a result, I can't. I don't know, and I feel really bad because it's almost as if saying, because you got popular, I don't like you anymore, and that sucks because like I really think that they deserve the, you know, oh wow.
Well, what about I guess like you can still sort of see yourself in Jack's films because he almost visibly gets burnt out, and you can see like when the content gets like really shit and cheap.
I mean, I guess so.
And then eventually he comes and tries to.
Ethan does like admit when he's like feeling burnt out and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just like. But I will also say it feels like Jack's films is living a. I mean, he might not be, but if the way he is impressed on me is that his life is still fairly modest. Like, yeah, he's got a nice house and 2 dogs and a wife or whatever. Yeah. It's pretty idealistic, which of course I can't relate to. But at the same time, he still feels down to earth and relatable somehow to me. I don't know. And I guess Ethan is to an extent, but sometimes I just look at them and I just go, I don't know. Like Aaron still has like a day job.
It's probably,
you know,
Jack's films still does it all by himself, and H3 have employees. And
that's the other thing. Yeah,
that's the thing you can't relate to because they've built a business.
H3 is like a massive business, and they have employees and
they've got like 4 or 5 people working for them.
They've met extremely famous and popular people. Jack's Films is still just a guy making videos in his house. You know, Jack's Films doesn't have a studio. Yeah. I don't know if he can afford one or not, but he doesn't.
And he doesn't get other people to like. He collaborates with them, but he doesn't have somebody basically make the content for him. Well, I mean. Yeah,
he edits everything. He still makes all his videos himself, and I can definitely relate to. Yeah. And no offense, Stephanie. The idea of having like this huge team of people and an office that you go to work just to do YouTube videos is like crazy to me. Or make a podcast like the H3 podcast room is just like this really awesome. Like they have a fucking neon sign with their insignia on it. Yeah. Like what the fuck? I could never even dream of something like that. That's awesome. Right? But it's as a result, it's just completely beyond the realm of relatable. And yeah, I just kind of fall off. And there is this idea that perhaps like their worldview as well has changed a bit in terms of that. And I do feel like that Jack's Films is still pretty. Oh, this is a boss. Is that a god? No, I'm dead. Okay, fair enough. I was really, really sloppy. I just expected him not to. All right. Well, next time we'll do that. All right.